Hello and welcome back to You Can't Handle the Truth. My name is Natalie, and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Today is really special. I fell and came across Kevin Samuels. I had no idea until probably a few months ago who Kevin Samuels was. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will come. In my healing, in my quest to have good relationships in my life, in my quest to vibe higher, in my quest to find myself and be authentic, heal my mother wounds, heal my father wounds, some teachers have come along, and Kevin Samuels is one of them. And if you don't know who Kevin Samuels is, he is deceased, but he was controversial in his thoughts. What's really interesting about that is that whether you think he's controversial or not, he always gave it to you straight. He always told you straight up what he found. He was an image consultant, and so he always told you straight up what it is that men want. And many times we find as women, we want to bring to the table what we think men want. We grow up in single parent households where we are in our masculine energy. And he also helped men also become marriage material. Don't get me wrong. So he helped men elevate themselves, become high earners, learn what they needed to do. So this wasn't just him picking on women. He started with men. I watched a video where he said then when he got men to the level they wanted to get to, they said, well, where are these women that we're looking for? And so then he started talking to the women. He says things that I agree with, but whether or not you agree, it is what men are looking for. As I go through different platforms and I see my ladies over 50 who we're overwhelmed. We've done so much, and I think it's because we've been in our masculine energy. And he talks about the 3 types of women. I'm going to describe them for you because the clips that I'm going to share with you through his video, he talks about the 3 different types of personalities. In this video, he asked women, are you a hyena? Are you a tiger? Are you a lion? And I was just like, what? And hear me out. Hear me out. I'm going to describe the 3 to you, and then we're going to get into his video. But you got to stick around for this, because if you're struggling in your relationship, if you're struggling in your relationship with your spouse, in this video, he's talking to 2 20-something-year-olds. So you ever say to yourself, I wish I knew then what I know now? The other thing he says is that it's not too late to learn. But anyway, we'll get into it. You'll watch it, and then I want you to drop and give me your opinion. If you're a feminist, if you're, I can do it all by myself, if you've been told that you need to be self-sufficient as a woman, you're gonna find this content contradictory to what you've been told. And that's the point. The point is that we all want a relationship. We all want that love. We want to be married. We want to have a man in our life. But to have a man in our life, just like you have expectations, he has expectations. Anyway, we're going to get into it. I want you to drop me comments below and let me know what you think about this. But first, let's talk about the hyena personality. And he's not saying a woman is a hyena per se, but it's more about the characteristics. If you have hyena characteristics, you are loud, contentious, chaotic, combative, lack class or refinement in his terms, in Kevin Samuels' terms. In his rhetoric, hyenas stir drama, they look for conflict, and lack self-control. So this is the woman that you're gonna come home to, and you have no idea what's gonna happen. You might even call her drama, because like this is the woman, and this, he says, this is the least desirable framework for a man. Before we go to the tiger, when I just said you put yourself where you fit, the thing is that if you're looking at this and you're like, oh, wow, that's terrible, right? But you see that you're loud, you're contentious, you're chaotic. You have to have self-awareness. You have to have self-awareness, or else you're going to find yourself constantly unhappy. In relationships, you're going to be unhappy with the man that you're with. He's going to be unhappy. You're going to find yourself divorced, and you're going to find yourself alone at the end of your days. And I know that's not what we want to hear, right? We don't want to hear that we have to make concessions. Next, you have the tiger. The tiger is strong, independent, fierce. That sounds great, right? That sounds like some of you women out there, right? Strong, independent, fierce, bold. A tiger has power, pride. She's assertive, but also possibly unpredictable, sometimes wild. Not always domesticated through his metaphor. So this means that this is the woman that's more desirable, but still has risk. She has high energy. She could resist compromise. That's the word I was looking for. She may resist compromise, may be more suited for casual or passionate relationships rather than stable ones. So then you have the lion. The lion is noble, dignified, calm. She has a calm type of authority, poised, a leader, queenly, presumed to have both strength and composure, to carry herself well, to be reliable, and loyal and balanced. In his view, a lion is the ideal wife material. Someone with strength, but also grace. Someone a man can build with. Someone stable under pressure. He frames it so that a lion is the most balanced, desirable type for a long-term committed relationship. And it's not that the lion is meek or passive, because a lion is not meek or passive. Rather, the lion has power, but wields it with dignity, restraint, and wisdom, discernment. You're not just out there wildly acting out. You assert your power, but at the same time, you're dignified and you have restraint. So let's get into it, because I want you to see what he has to say. I want you to understand these 3 categories that he talks about, because he mentions it in this video and that might not be clear to you. Let's watch this and we're going to react to it together. It's a 43-minute long video. I am gonna play clips throughout for you. I wish I could play the whole thing. I will link the video in the description, and I will link in that page in the description so that you can continue to follow his actual page. I want to have the discussion about some of the things he talks about, because I find that a lot of the problems that we have as women come from some of the things that he's talking about, and a lot of times we don't want to admit it. And if you're going to be authentic, self-awareness is key. And healing those mother-father wounds, therapy is key. Because if you were told as a woman that you should be independent, do you know how to compromise? Because you're with someone. Can you have a relationship and compromise? Can you let your man lead in a relationship and make decisions? Like I said, it's not about being meek or about being passive, but I think at the end of the day, that man, he's the major decision maker in your relationship, while taking your opinion, because you're the backbone, right? And anyway, I'm gonna play this for you. You tell me what you think. I really agree with some of the things he says. Some of the things like hit home for me. Some of the things he said, I had to stop and think and be like, really? And he talked to a lot of men while he was alive. So this is what men want. And whether we like it or not, and being raised in single parent households, like women being raised in single parent households with their moms, your mom can't teach you what a man wants. Not really, right? She can teach you to be independent because she had to learn to be independent. So it's by no fault of her own. And if you had an absent father in your life, or a father who wasn't there, like, how do you know what a man wants? Anyhow, Let's continue. Let me know what you think. It may not be wildly popular, but it is what it is, and this is something that may help you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play this clip.
Even though I have this piercing.
Wifey material is just a female.
No. I really appreciate you doing this because I just feel like the younger generations, we are, the women are lost and the men are lost too. But I don't think that. I'm not gonna say that you're not a wife because you have that nose. Mm-hmm. But it's like.
But see, the thing is, it don't matter what you say or what you say because we choose. So we say it's not. You want to marry a black man?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if a black man tells you something, why you need to debate it? Why isn't it like coming to America? Why is it? Well, I like it. Because
that's definitely me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very opinionated.
Then both of y'all, then at best you're a tyrant. You might be
It's not cool. In some instances, I feel like what I have to work on is delivery. Like, is it wrong to have an opinion, or is it wrong to put your?
Wrong to have an opinion? Yes.
Really? You believe that? Well.
Yeah. I'm just gonna guess wrong to have an opinion. Shut up.
Wow. So okay.
The more you shut up, the farther you'll get in line. Shut up.
I do believe that. Somebody told me, like, you just gotta be quiet. Like, just be quiet.
Why do you think it's saying so you need to be right? Who cares if you're 20 how old again?
I'm 23.
I'm giving shit about your little 23-year-old opinion. What's the basis? Do you own your house?
No, I really don't.
You own your own car?
Apartment.
Own anything of value?
No.
Then we don't want to hear your opinion.
You're right. I don't own anything.
I mean, no offense.
Well, I don't own my car and my
No offense, but women often, well, it's so I have an opinion because no one asked you for it. If we ask you, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Then is when you give us your opinion. But if you're not asked, you don't give it. And I mean, honestly, and if you say you got to work on delivery, well, what are you delivering? Are you delivering solicited or unsolicited?
Right. Now,
This part really got me. Is your opinion solicited or unsolicited? And I think that women, as women, we tend to give unsolicited opinions to people. Just in general, not even to your man, not even to your husband. Like, you give unsolicited opinions. And I think when you have another woman give you, as a woman, an unsolicited opinion, you'll tend to think, like, who does she think she is? Like, why is she doing that, right? But at the same time, you will go to a man, or a man that you're in a relationship with, your husband, and give unsolicited opinions. I think that unsolicited opinions across board are unnecessary. They're unsolicited. Why are you doing that? Keep your opinion to yourself unless it's asked. And I completely agree. His point is that you start to live a calmer life when you live this way, right? Because when you're constantly giving people your opinion, and why do you give your opinion? You give your opinion so that people can agree, right? So that people can take your opinion and do something with it. But an unsolicited opinion is going nowhere. And so then you're going to find yourself frustrated because that person didn't ask for it. They're not going to do anything with it. It's almost like a waste of energy. And I'm not talking about raising your kids. You have to give your kids your opinion. This is how we, that's a different thing. But when we're talking to grown folks, when you're talking to other adults, unless they ask for your opinion about something, keep it to yourself. And that's even with your grown children. Keep your opinion to yourself. This is something I've had to learn. My kids who are older now get to make their mistakes. And so unless they call and they say, Mom, what do you think about this? I don't give my opinion unless it's asked. and your life gets so much more peaceful. Let's continue.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. Or
27. I'm cutting 27 to 23. 27. Go ahead.
Okay, so I do have a question, because I'm 20 and I've only been in one relationship, and I've been waiting to get on here to ask this. Like, I've been feeling, what could I do better as a woman to attract the right man in my life?
The right man for what?
That wants to settle down and take my tips.
Settle down meaning what?
Your life with me.
Settle down meaning what?
And
Settle down meaning what?
Potentially have a family.
No. Settle down meaning what? Define it. Marriage?
Yes, marriage.
Okay. Are you a wife?
I'm learning.
Then what do you need? Then if you're learning, what do you need with the man who's looking for a wife?
Really interesting, isn't it? He said, listen to what he said. He said, if you are learning to be a wife, do you know what it means to be a wife? If you're learning to be a wife, but you want a man who already knows what he's looking for. He's looking for a wife. He's not looking for a wife in training. He's looking for a wife. He's literally what he's saying. He's like, he's looking for a wife. Are you ready? Do you need to go to therapy? Do you need to go this is something I found interesting. She's very harsh in the way he interacts. He's very straightforward. But the truth of the matter is, I'm seeing on this channel, like, women are getting to their 50s and they're like, oh, we can't do this anymore. Like, he's this and he's that. Like, it's all his fault, and they're wanting out. And I know this because I am on a lot of different forums where women post their grievances against their husbands. And here's the thing. When you got married, did you know how to be a wife? Because a lot of us don't. We're raised by single moms, right? Some were never married, some were, and were divorced, and then ended up raising us through our teenage years, those years where you're supposed to be learning how to be a wife, where maybe they were not a wife. And maybe they raised you to be self-sufficient because there were hard times, but then you end up turning into either a hyena, because you're like, I could do it all by myself, right? So that's not wife material. Or you turn into a tiger, where you're just like very independent, you're strong-willed, but you're not cooperative. You don't know how to be cooperative with a man who's looking for a wife. Let's go. And I say this because I see online where a lot of women now, like, they're looking for high earners. They're looking for those men that are in the top 2%. When you say you're leaving your man because he's not all this, he's not all that, and you're going and you're looking to elevate, right? But are you ready for that elevation? Because that man that's a high earner, that's in the top 2%, based on Kevin Samuel's teachings, there's a type of woman that he's looking for, and it's not a hyena characteristic. Not saying that women are hyenas or that they're tigers, but that he's looking for more of the lion personality. And a lion is very strong, right? Think about that. A lion is very strong, but a lion also is cooperative. A lion lives in prides, right? A pride. They live in families. Hyenas are more independent. They don't live in family. They have their kids and then they move on. So think about that. Think about that concept, and think about what it is that you're looking for and what it is that he's looking for. Let's continue.
That's a good question.
Let me see. It's like, if you're not there, why do you need to be around them?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you, I mean, I find it interesting why women always seem to think the problem's not in their mirror. The problem is always you.
Is it always us though?
It's always us. Human condition. Yes, we attract what we are. First of all, the question, you both said you're lions. You're not, you're not. They asked about the opinions and all sort of kind of stuff, and I said, most of the time your opinions are unsolicited. And they're not based on anything that you've done. It's different if you had an opinion, like me, I can have an opinion, but I'm also 52 and I got a lot of experience to pull from. Mm-hmm. It's different. 23-year-old opinions, you're not worth much to a lot of people. I mean, even as a man, that mine weren't.
Me as a person, I think it's like, I don't think it's inflated sense of
special. Count to 7 billion.
Count to 7 billion.
Yeah, go ahead. Start.
Right now.
Yeah, count to 7 billion.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, count to 7 billion. Count to 7 billion. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
At this pace, you'll get to 7 billion by Sunday. And that's how many people there are on the planet. And you got one opinion from now to Sunday. Far too many people today think they're special and lack humility. Think about it. Why did women back in the day used to have 10 children? Because 5 of them would die. I mean, seriously.
So, I come from an only child household.
Oh yeah, that's another problem. You're an only child? Only child syndrome, so am I. You need therapy.
I don't think so. You think so? I think I do see life through a different type of lens, but I don't think it's negative. But I believe that.
See what I mean about 23-year-old opinions, y'all? 52-year-old man who's an only child sitting here telling this woman who's my daughter's age, you need therapy. And the first thing she said, do you think so?
Why? Okay, you wouldn't have said it if you didn't think that. I guess I understand that.
I mean, see, my point is, I said I'm an only child, 52. I obviously know what I'm doing, and I've been relatively successful at things I've accomplished. And at 23, you're challenging me, and I want enough to be your father.
I'm not challenging you.
Well, you said, do you think so? And I'm like,
yeah, it's like, it's something that I do. It's like, you think so? Really? Okay.
Okay, but my point is yes, because you're an only child. Only children, there's something called only child syndrome. Look into it. But back over here, you said where to find a man or husband. If you're not
That's really interesting that he brings this up because he was an only child. And let's look up only child syndrome. We're going to look that up together. Okay, so the only child syndrome refers to the belief that only children or onlys tend to exhibit certain negative traits such as selfishness and loneliness due to lack of siblings. However, this theory is largely considered unfounded, with research showing that only children often function just as well as those with siblings. Let's see. Relationships with siblings can significantly shape social skills and emotional development. Onlys may struggle to catch up with their peers due to the absence of sibling interaction, leading to potential social difficulties. Okay, so that was the thing. Like, it's not like there's so much of a difference between an only child and children that have siblings, but if you're an only child, you're going to struggle a little bit more. You're going to have social difficulties. However, they can also benefit from the support and guidance of parents, which may enhance their academic performance and self-esteem. Okay. Only child syndrome is a pop psychology term linking selfish or inconsiderate behavior to a lack of a sibling. Many believe that only children do not know how to share or cooperate because they never had to learn, that their parents gave them more because they had more time and resources. Although the typical view of only children, this theory has never found any psychological basis. So it's not anything based on there's no psychological basis for it. Previous studies focused on differences in personality, traits, conduct, and cognitive function. However, these studies found no particular correlation between traits and those with or without a sibling. For these reasons, only child syndrome is considered to be a false syndrome. Psychologists often stated that there is no such thing, that only children function, and that only children function just as well as those with siblings. A more recent study, however, has focused on the neural basis of such traits and the correlation to whether or not that person has a sibling. Tests showed that being an only child can affect you in a number of ways, making only child syndrome a very real phenomenon. Okay? In fact, being an only child can change the very development of your brain. Being an only child can produce different effects on everyone, but below are some typical signs of only child syndrome. Okay, so let's see. So in one breath they were saying, it's not a real psychological thing, but they did do some tests and found some studies that showed some differences. So let's see what they show. Other studies show that only children do better in school, are more highly motivated, and have higher self-esteem than those with siblings because they get more individual attention from parents and can receive immediate support when it is needed. On the other hand, there have been some studies which point to social difficulties only children suffer. Siblings offer vital relationships and social training from a young age, meaning that onlys may struggle to catch up and may be less adjusted as they mature. So here's some traits. Overall, there are 7 main traits of only child syndrome, which can be collated from various tests. Only children may have one or all of these traits. You are creative. Scans compared between only children and those with siblings showed a higher gray matter volume in the parietal lobe, so they're very creative. You are a skilled problem solver. You do well in academics. You have higher self-esteem than most. You are a little socially inept. The downside of being an only child is that you do not have the socialization enjoyed by those with siblings. Learning to cooperate and converse with others from a young age make those with siblings much more socially skilled. This makes only children less skilled in important aspects of adulthood. They aren't as strong in forming social relationships, and at first they can find it difficult to make friends in childhood. The next one is you think of yourself more than others. Due to the fact that only children have never had to think of siblings, they are more likely to think of themselves first. This selfishness shows in teamwork, in building basic relationships. It can be difficult for only children to learn to think of others first and to forego their own needs. You are independent. One thing only children will teach is independent. Only children will tackle problems for themselves. And yeah, so I mean, it's not terrible. I think the downside is that maybe a little bit of selfishness and cooperation might be more difficult for only children. So I mean, which makes it maybe difficult to form relationship with others because you didn't have that through a sibling. So and I think he mentions this because cooperation is very much needed, right, in a relationship. When you are marrying someone, you're going to have to learn how to cooperate, and if you have siblings, you learn that at an early age, right? So this is something that has to be learned, but I'm sure only children function just fine, just well enough, right? So you let me know if that's made a difference, if you're an only child and that's made a difference for you. All right, so let's continue with Kevin Samuels. This video is going to be longer, so maybe you want to stop, go grab a cup of coffee, because I want to show you this whole video. I want to go through this because I think it's very important for us to see from a man's perspective, a man who has helped other men and who has helped other women. A lot of times as women, we look at things from another woman's perspective, right? And we get on the girl's girl kind of thing. And then here's the thing, but you're marrying a man. So how about that man's perspective? Are you looking at things from a man's perspective when you're going to marry a man? It's so ironic that he says this, and I'm thinking about this now because I belong to a women's group, like an over 50 women's group, where the women come in and they talk about this, right? So they're coming into groups and they're looking for a perspective from other women about their relationship. But it seems like maybe they need another man's perspective about what's going on in their relationship, which is why you'll see me bringing more men into this forum. Like, you may not agree, but whether or not you agree, we need the man's perspective. You need to see what they're thinking. Like, just because it has become socially unacceptable for men to tell us what they think, it doesn't mean that they're not looking for certain things and they don't think and feel certain ways about things, which makes it difficult when you're trying to grow together if you don't understand exactly how a man thinks. All right, I know I'm repeating myself, but I think it's really important because I see many women at this stage of life, they're thinking about divorce, they're frustrated, and they don't know why. This is one video that he made. He has many others, so you can check out this channel because they're posting more of his videos. I think that this can be really helpful in bringing some self-awareness. All right, let's go. Let's go. Where are we? All right. Let's see here. All right.
A wife. When are you gonna become one?
I feel like I do have a lot to work on, especially with my mental health. But also now, I think he's a wife now.
You gotta start now.
Right. So somebody should marry you on your potential. Huh?
I feel like I do have a lot to offer.
Then go get a guy who marry him on what he has to offer. And go live with his means.
See, I actually do have a guy that asked me that to like live on his means. Mm-hmm. And I just was taught not to live off the man, but to provide for myself, have my own.
Who taught you that? Your mother?
I was about to say that.
Yeah, my mom.
That's like, me and my friends just had a conversation like that. How you?
Did he want? Hold on. Did he just want you to live with him, or did he want you to marry him?
He's been talking about marriage. He
okay. So a woman who was raised to be at best a lion sounds more like a hyena, though. Honestly, a hyena mindset. Because hyenas raised to be alone, depend on themselves, no man. And you got a man who has potential, but you're not going to pick a man on potential, but you want to pick a man who is a husband already where he is to pick you on what you could be, which is potential. This is what I mean. You ladies overvalue yourselves. You think too highly of yourself. And you want women to think less of themselves. You're goddamn right. That's why I'm a big fan of y'all. That's why I'm a big fan of y'all. If y'all start walking around in y'all with no makeup on and your natural hair, we'd have a lot more humble woman. Because y'all can.
I'm very natural. I try to be.
I said humble woman.
Right.
Women are liars. Y'all lie.
Not me.
That's why you don't look. Okay, and what I mean by women are liars. Okay, understand? I'm gonna do a whole video on it. What do I mean by women are liars? Go ahead. You said you're a very natural woman.
Yes.
Okay. You know I'm gonna ask you about your hair, right?
Okay, I was gonna say, the hair, Kevin, but if you go on my page, I can pull up a picture of my actual natural hair. It's very beautiful, very thick. Mm-hmm. I don't like to wear it as much because
I got it. I mean,
more
you didn't know today, but do you know the word?
Well, I used to have a wig business, so that's why I'm very much so in the wig game. And it's just very convenient for me. And I like to switch my color a lot.
I'm sorry. Hold on. My point was, you often hear that talked about. That was in 1989. And back then, that was such a funny joke.
Yeah.
I posted a picture of RuPaul on my Instagram with pink hair and a yellow top. And I said, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, this was edgy. But now I walk to Lenox Mall or Phipps and I see this every day in heterosexual women. That was a drag queen. This is a movie. And fake hair, contacts, or if you don't have the contacts, damn sure the fingernails.
Natural nails. I'm about to say, I'm very natural like that.
Excuse me.
But okay.
Listen. Hair is enough. Hair is enough. So you can't tell one line and act like these are real. Hair is enough. Yes, hair is enough. You're a liar. That's enough of a lie. If a man was 5'7" and walked around with 4-inch lifts in his shoes and said, well, it's just shoes, it's enough. Yeah. But see, when you're lying with hair, nails, waist trainers, BBLs, all this other stuff, it is images communication. You are purposely deceiving. And you're deceiving in areas that men find. I mean, it's not like women go out and put fat suits on. You don't put stuff on that you think makes you look less appealing. You do it so that would be no different than a man going to a bank and getting somebody else's ATM receipt, renting a car, getting fake money. What would we call it? We would call that fraud.
Yeah.
But this is what
It's really interesting to me that, I wear contacts. We all do different things. And most of the time I'm in my natural state. Like if I'm home, I'm not online. I don't have, if I know I'm not getting online, I don't have makeup on. And sometimes even online I come and I don't have makeup on. And I've had people say to me like, well, why don't you wear makeup? I grew up in a natural state. And I think like there's nothing wrong with putting on aesthetics, but that's what I think. And that's what women think, right? So we do the hair, we do the nails, we do the contacts, like I have contacts in now. We do the contacts and, but it's really interesting how men look at that. And again, remember, he is giving you a man's perspective about what men see when they see women doing all these things. And it's really ironic that most men like women in their natural state. They want to see you in your natural state. And so let's continue because he's going to talk more about that. And when you want a relationship, when you want to be married, you need to understand what a man is looking for. Let's go.
The vast majority of women do today. Every day you walk out of the house lying. You're used to lying to yourself. You're used to lying to yourself and seeing yourself that way, and other women see it, and y'all reinforce it. And men are sitting there looking like, what she really look like when you get home. This is why I tell gentlemen, guys, in particular, your lady should walk around the house in her natural state. Mm-hmm. Because when she's out there, she's got her armor on. And here, she needs to be her natural self. And the women who report doing that are living on more tranquil, peaceful lives because they're not in a deliberate, deceptive state. You don't look at it that way. You just look at it as beautification or just fun. But you're actually lying.
Yeah.
Can you believe that's how he's looking at it? And so what he's saying is that, yes, okay, maybe you have to go out, you have to go for an interview, you beautify yourself because you want to show up and you want to present yourself in a certain way. But when you're looking for a relationship, you got to show up 100% authentic as yourself, and that you should be, even if you're doing these things when you leave the house, that you should be authentic inside your house so that you are not in a constant state of deception. Because when you're 100% of the time, you're always that way, even when you're inside your house with your man in your relationship, you start to believe the deception yourself. I think he goes on to say here that, it used to be that women would do these things like for special functions, but now it's like almost 100% of the time, women are no longer in a natural state.
Not the nails, but the hair.
Kevin.
Makeup is
Okay.
Makeup used to be worn, like, go back in the 90s or 80s, women would maybe wear lip gloss, lipstick. Today, you guys are you're beating your face to go to the gym, and women used to do that to go to a job interview or prom. It was like for something extremely special.
Yeah.
Y'all do it to the point to where it's like, okay. In Atlanta, you have a large alternative lifestyle community, okay? And it's to the point now to where women are so in that, heterosexual women are so in that masculine. And because how much weight women have put on, you're not used to seeing petite women. So you see somebody who's taller, bigger, and with all this dramatic hair and nails. So you know how many men are walking around dressed like women? The guys are like, were you naturally born a girl? And then you can't even ask questions, man, please.
Right. Because
that's my point. My point.
Yeah.
So my point is, you gotta listen to what the men, give the men what they want. And men want women closer to their natural state. And especially the guys who are husbands. You don't see many husbands picking women who are overly done up. You really don't. So, and at 27, at what point do you think you should be ready to be wife?
I feel like I'm ready now, to be honest. I'm about to get my degree. I have a nonprofit organization. Like,
girl.
Thank you.
Nothing you described said a goddamn thing about it.
That feels good though.
You're a man.
You know, it's so interesting because this is again that part of us as women where we've grown up like thinking, like knowing that we need to be self-sufficient, don't depend on a man, and there's nothing wrong with having your own. We need to have our own, but the fact that men care nothing about this is not what men care about, is what he's saying.
Okay, so Kevin, what qualifies to be a wife?
Your mindset.
My mindset?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what?
Was your mother?
So you can see, right? Like, so you can have all the other things, but there's a mindset that qualifies to be a wife. He's going to talk about
Your mother wasn't married. How many children your mother had?
My mother has 3 children. She's married.
2 or 3?
3.
How many different fathers?
How many different fathers? 3.
She's married now. She's married now.
Huh?
She's married now?
Yes.
How long she been married?
8 years. 8 now?
The woman that raised you, is it the same woman that's married, or she moving differently?
She moves differently. Not
Okay, but she raised you under a hyena mindset. Now she's moving differently.
Mm-hmm.
But did she tell you to do different stuff though?
No, and I remember.
Stop.
Okay.
This is why I say women lie. You lie with your appearance and you lie with your words. And the funny thing is, women always say you want men to tell the truth. And y'all are the biggest liars. Your appearance is a lie. You'll say one thing, but you have to look at what a woman does. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say your heart's in the right place and you have the best intentions, but it doesn't matter. Rent's due on the first. What you do matters, and you got to look at what a woman does. Your mother is telling you strong independent, get you a degree, so and so forth. But she done tucked all that shit away to get her a man, and she hasn't even told you, daughter, I was on some bullshit on that hyena shit when I was raising it. That's why I got all these little hyena pups. I got all these hyena pups. Y'all ain't got the same daddy. Y'all get all that tension. I was wrong for doing that to all of y'all. That's my bad. I'm sorry. I learned better. I'm doing better, and this is what you need to do. I didn't start you out right, but let me at least course correct you now so you can have a better outcome. Because even mama, hyena, learned. That ain't what she's doing.
Can I add?
Go ahead.
I remember.
27, come over. I need to come over here on Sunday. For what? I just need to talk to you. Come see mama on Sunday, okay? It ain't like you came through the door and your mama was in her fresh face, pot of coffee, no music, no TV on, sit down at the dinner table. We ain't talking about. Oh, you an apology. 3 different men put together the teaching she got to secure her man, but you're out here alone and she ain't teaching you. And if that woman really wanted a man.
Oh,
I did.
it's like, I feel like she, like you said, it's like your actions kind of don't say, you saying you want one, but like how you're acting and how you coming off, it's not giving you.
I'm going to Elle magazine, Essence, Ebony. One of the best things you can do is be in places like this. Because
yeah, he's saying like going to the magazines and looking to see what other women are thinking is not it. Like you need to have a man's perspective about what they want, and what they want is a mindset.
it kind of likes y'all single. It kind of likes y'all single and unattached, because every other race of women, 54% married or higher, and they got stuff to pass on. Every subsequent black generation, if we have it, going to start over, start over, start over. A man is not a burden. It's like the first woman I talked to. Y'all saw 41. You got all that stuff, you're secure and all. So I'm like, well, if you got everything together, wouldn't life be so much easier if you don't need one? But it's like, did anybody get the feeling that that woman really wanted a man?
Oh,
I did.
it's like, I feel like she, like you said, it's like your actions kind of don't say, you saying you want one, but like how you're acting and how you coming off, it's not giving you want a man or you want somebody.
Here's something I'm learning. Have you ever remember old silent movies? Silent movies. Have you ever seen a silent movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, start living your life. You're a silent movie. As a woman,
That's
they said, because there's an old thing, a child is to be seen, not heard. Women, really, if I, like I told me, young men the other day, I'm gonna put a clip up. A 27-year-old guy with 3 kids. And then the other 26-year-old man talking about his rotation. I said, black men, stop living life through your dick. If I snapped your dick and your balls away, what would you be? We try to justify our manhood through sex. But ladies, you're what you do as a woman. It's not what you say, it's what you do. If you all of a sudden lost your voice, how would I feel your presence?
Right. That's a good, I never thought about it like that.
That's, you know, that one really hit home, because does a man feel your presence if in your silence? Can he feel your support in your silence? Think about that.
Well, and that's why so many of our women aren't married, because you're not making us feel your presence. The only thing we get to feel on you is some sex. That's the closest we get to affection, sexuality, and we want affection. This is where femininity is smiling, all this other kind of stuff. This is why men can go to other countries, not speak the language, and still find a wife. Because those women make a man feel their presence. Those are the things you need to focus on. Focus on self-awareness, number 1 for 27. Self-awareness. And then really understand, like I said, it's your mindset. A woman's mindset is more important than anything else. It supersedes femininity. There are women who are feminine who have a mindset that you can't work with. I dealt with beautiful women, accomplished women, pleasant to be around, but their mindset is independent. You can't.
How many of you out there are raised to be independent? How many? I know I was raised to be independent. I was raised to be very independent, and I've had to learn how to be cooperative. I've had to learn how to be cooperative. I watch these videos not because I think, you know, I know for a lot of you out there are going to look, you're going to be like, what is she talking about? But it's the truth. What's the divorce rate? Divorce rate is more than 50% of marriages end in divorce. Why is that? Think about it. This is why. And I bring this here because like I said, I am on a lot of different forums where women over 50, where they're talking about they're going through their second divorce, they're tired of their man. And I'm not saying if you're in an abusive relationship that you don't need to get out of that relationship, but you know, he really hits on some of the traumas that we bring into the relationship, some of the things that we don't know when we get into relationships. How being independent does not help us in a relationship. You need cooperation in a relationship. How are you going to grow together? What do you know what your man is looking for? We know what we're looking for, right? We're so independent as women that we go into a relationship. We want this, and he needs to do that, and he needs to do this, and he needs to do that. Well, what do we need to do? He wants cooperation. He wants you not to speak out of turn, not in a bad way, but like, don't give unsolicited advice, I've heard so far. And then I heard, what was the last one here? Affection. And he wants to feel that affection, not through sex. He wants to feel that affection even in your silence. And when you're independent, you don't even realize that you're coming off in a way that's not showing affection, where he doesn't feel your presence. He doesn't feel that affection. You know, because it's kind of funny that he said that a man can go to a different country and find a wife and not even speak the same language as that woman. That woman doesn't have to speak the same language. If she can show up in a way that speaks his love language, which is affection, she's gonna win him over, and he's gonna marry her. You know, we think that bringing the house and the money and all the things into a relationship is what is going to keep our relationship together, and it's not. The cooking, the cleaning, it's not. How are you showing up in your relationship?
I put it together all that. But you're gonna have to don't just have sex, okay? Really, do you really have the mindset to follow somebody that other than yourself, a man?
I think
Okay. All right, ladies. Both of you guys send me.
Last question.
If you're serious, send me a DM. I get hundreds of messages.
I'm gonna leave it there. I like that last comment. He says, do you have the mindset to follow someone other than yourself? That means that when you make up your mind about something as a woman, right? I just had this discussion with my husband. It was a couple months ago. Something he wanted, something I wanted, something we wanted, actually, something we wanted to do. But he, you know, he had a certain way that he wanted to do it, and he had already done all the calculations, everything. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to do it. And eventually I had to say, okay, yeah, I trust you. Let's do it. Even though part of me was feeling like, I shouldn't have to do this. Like, why am I doing this? But I needed to do it because this is what we're doing, right? Like, and that's that part of us as women where, you know, that independence, if you are stuck in that independence, if you're not going to learn how to be cooperative in your relationship, it's going to end. It's going to end. And here's the thing, you're going to get into another relationship, you're going to have that honeymoon phase, and you're going to repeat the cycle. And a lot of us, we don't want to be alone at the end of our days. And just these few things that he mentioned bring so much peace into your relationship, because once you bring peace into your man's life, he's going to bring peace. You're going to have peace in your home. And that's all we all want. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the content. Let me know what you think. I know this might be wildly unpopular with a lot of you out there, but if you're struggling in your relationship, if you've had multiple relationships and you're struggling, I'm going to link this video in the description box. You can watch the whole thing again, because I kind of skipped through. I didn't want to go through the whole thing because it's 43 minutes long on its own, and there are multiple other videos out there that he posts. As you can see, he's a little raw, he's edgy, he's real, right? Like, so he's not sugarcoating anything, and so it can come off as being rough and abrupt. He tells the girls, like, you know, in kind of what seems rude, like, hey, you know, you need to shut up. And you know, and I think he does it on purpose, because he kind of says the things in his videos, because he's an image coach, but he's also you know, I think he turned into some type of relationship coach, and he just kind of says the things that other men want to say and don't, right? You ever get that look from your husband and he's like, can you stop talking? Can you stop talking? We've all been there as women. If we're honest, we've all been there, right? Why is he saying that? Are you giving unsolicited advice? Things to think about. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the content. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I'm sending you love. Bye.